13. Charles Lucky Luciano, November 24, 1897 to January 26, 1962. Lucky Luciano was an Italian-born American mobster best known for engineering the structure of modern organized crime in the United States. Charles Lucky Luciano was born on November 24, 1897 in Lercara, Sicily. At age 14, Luciano dropped out of school and started a job delivering hats, earning $7 per week. However, after winning $244 in a dice game, Luciano quit his job and began earning money on the street. As a teenager, Luciano started his own gang and was a member of the Old 5 Points gang. Unlike other street gangs whose business was petty crime, Luciano offered protection to Jewish youngsters from Italian and Irish gangs for 10 cents per week. He was also learning the pimping trade in the years around World War I. Luciano met Meyer Lansky as a teenager, when Luciano attempted to extort Lansky for protection money on his walk home from school. Luciano respected the younger boy's defiant responses to his threats, and the two formed a lasting partnership. Personal life. In 1929, Luciano met Gay Orlova, a featured dancer in one of Broadway's leading nightclubs, Hollywood. They were inseparable until he went to prison but were never married. In early 1948 he met Igia Lissoni, a Milanese ballerina 20 years his junior, whom he later described as the love of his life. In the summer, Lissoni moved in with him. Although some reports said the couple married in 1949, others state that they only exchanged rings. Luciano and Lissoni lived together in Luciano's house in Naples. He continued to have affairs with other women, resulting in many arguments with Lissoni, during which he physically struck her. In 1959, Lissoni died of breast cancer. Luciano never had children. He once provided his reasons for that: "I didn't want no son of mine to go through life as the son of Luciano, the gangster. That's one thing I still hate Dewey for, making me a gangster in the eyes of the world." Luciano was an American mobster who split New York City into 5 crime families, heading the Genovese crime family himself. He also initiated the Commission, which served as a governing body for organized crime nationwide. Luciano moved to Havana and was later deported to Italy, living out his final years in Naples. He was an Italian-born gangster who operated mainly in the United States. He started his criminal career in the 5 Points gang and was instrumental in the development of the National Crime Syndicate. Luciano is considered the father of modern organized crime in the United States for the establishment of the Commission in 1931 after he abolished the Boss of Bosses title held by Salvatore Maranzano following the Castellammarese War. He was also the first official boss of the modern Genovese crime family. About Genovese crime family. The Genovese crime family, also sometimes referred to as the West Side, is an Italian-American mafia crime family and one of the 5 families that dominate organized crime activities in New York City and New Jersey as part of the American Mafia. The Genovese family has generally maintained a varying degree of influence over many of the smaller mob families outside New York, including ties with the Philadelphia, Cleveland, Patriarca, and Buffalo crime families. The Genovese family is the oldest and the largest of the 5 families. Finding new ways to make money in the 21st century, the family took advantage of lax due diligence by banks during the housing bubble with a wave of mortgage frauds. Prosecutors say loan shark victims obtained home equity loans to pay off debts to their mob bankers. The family found ways to use new technology to improve on illegal gambling, with customers placing bets through offshore sites via the internet. In 1936, Luciano was tried and convicted for compulsory prostitution and running a prostitution racket after years of investigation by District Attorney Thomas E. Dewey. He was sentenced to 30 to 50 years in prison, but during World War II an agreement was struck with the Department of the Navy through his Jewish mob associate Meyer Lansky to provide naval intelligence. In 1946, for his alleged wartime cooperation, his sentence was commuted on the condition that he be deported to Italy. It is not clear how Luciano earned the nickname Lucky. It may have come from surviving a severe beating and throat slashing by 3 men in 1929 as the result of his refusal to work for another mob boss. The nickname may also be attributed to his gambling luck, or to a simple mispronunciation of his last name. From 1916 to 1936, Luciano was arrested 25 times on charges including assault, illegal gambling, blackmail, and robbery, but spent no time in prison. It is also not clear how his surname came to be rendered Luciano. This too may have been the result of persistent misspellings by newspapers. By 1925, Luciano was grossing over $12 million per year, and made a personal income of about $4 million per year from running illegal gambling and bootlegging operations in New York that also extended into Philadelphia. Death. On January 26, 1962, Luciano died of a heart attack at Naples International Airport. He had gone to the airport to meet with American producer Martin Gosch about a film based on his life. To avoid antagonizing other mafia members, Luciano had previously refused to authorize a film, but reportedly relented after the death of his longtime lover, Igia Lissoni. After the meeting with Gosch, Luciano had a heart attack and died. He was unaware that Italian drug agents had followed him to the airport in anticipation of arresting him on drug smuggling charges. 3 days later, 300 people attended a funeral service for Luciano in Naples. His body was conveyed along the streets of Naples in a horse-drawn hearse. With the permission of the U.S. government, Luciano's relatives took his body back to New York for burial. He was buried in St. John's Cemetery in Middle Village, Queens. More than 2,000 mourners attended his funeral. Gambino, Luciano's longtime friend, gave his eulogy. In 1998, Time characterized Luciano as the criminal mastermind, among the top 20 most influential builders and titans of the 20th century. Films: Marked Woman 1937, fictionalized version of Dewey's successful prosecution of Luciano. The Dewey character was played by Humphrey Bogart and the Luciano character was played by Edoardo Cianelli. Deported 1950, a story based about a character based on Luciano and played by Jeff Chandler. The Valachi Papers 1972, Luciano was portrayed by Angelo Infanti. Lucky Luciano 1973, Luciano was portrayed by John Maria Vallant. Lepka 1975, Luciano was portrayed by Vic Tabak. Brass Target 1978, Luciano was portrayed by Lee Montague. The Cotton Club 1984, Luciano was portrayed by Joe D'Alessandro. Mobsters 1991, Luciano was portrayed by Christian Slater. Bugsy 1991, Luciano was portrayed by Bill Graham. Billy Bathgate 1991, Luciano was portrayed by Stanley Tucci. Hoodlum 1997, Luciano was portrayed by Andy Garcia. Lansky 2021, Luciano was portrayed by Shane McRae.